Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I'm Sean Penard, your host, and today we're opening this Khans of Tarkir booster pack and evaluating the cards inside. Let's dive right in and see what we get. I always take out the marketing card in the back and the land first. And then I always look at our rare. We have Retribution of the Ancients. So I actually played with this card way back in the pre-release. And what it does is you remove X +1/+1 counters from among creatures you control, and target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. This actually works out really nicely in Abzan decks, obviously, since they're the ones that get so many +1/+1 counters. I actually also had this in the same deck with Hardened Scales, so I was able to make a lot of counters and then remove them to remove creatures. So I'm not going to first pick this card. I think it's good after you've already kind of gone down the Abzan route and you have a lot of cards that are going to give you counters and you know that you're going to go down that path. So while I think it's a good card, I am not going to first pick it. This is better to be picked up later on. So let's see what else we have. Cancel for 3 mana, you counter target spell. Barrage of Boulders for 3 mana, it deals 1 damage to each creature, and if you have a creature with power 4 or greater, they can't block. Mardu Hate Blaze, so this is good. It's a 1/1 for 1 and has the ability to get Death Touch, which is very useful. So out of the 1-drops, this is one of the more useful ones. Ooh, Hooting Mandrills. This is my first pick so far. It's a 4/4 creature for 6 mana, but it does have Delve, so it can come into play cheaper. And it has Trample, sorry, 4/4 Trample. Rite of the Serpent, for 6 mana, you can destroy target creature, and you get a Snake token if that creature had a +1/+1 counter on it. These days, removal is pretty expensive, so this isn't necessarily bad while it is expensive. However, in Khans, there are other kill spells that are better, like Kill Shot and Utter End and things like that, but this one isn't common, so you'll see it more often. Thornwood Falls, green-blue. This is the enemy refuge, so it comes into play tapped and you get a life, and it supports 2 clans, Temur and Sultai. Jeskai Wind Scout, a 2/1 flyer with prowess. Abzan Banner, I have yet to draft a banner just because I'd rather play morph cards in turn 3. Tormenting Voice is card selection, so basically you lose this card and another card and you get to draw 2 cards. So if there's a card that you don't, but the thing is, I don't know, why would I put a card in my deck that I am just going to be discarding to draw another one? You see what I'm saying? So while the card draw is relevant, I think there are much better ways to draw cards than this. Bloodfell Caves is the black-red refuge, so very good. Ooh, Chief of the Scale. So there is a white-black warrior theme in this set, and this is one of the ones that supports that warrior theme. So it's a 2/3 that gives other warrior creatures +0/+1, so that's good. Suspension Field is nice because when it enters the battlefield, you may exile a target creature with toughness 3 or greater, and then they get it back if you lose Suspension Field, so you get to exile something big. And finally we have Frontier Bivouac, which is the Temur Triland. I think it's worth our first pick. I would first pick the Frontier Bivouac. Well, I don't know. Unless you're like committing to a 5-color deck early on, like right here in the first pick, and you're just going to take as many lands as you can pretty much in the first pack. I think the strongest card here is probably Suspension Field or Chief of the Scale. There are lots of good lands to pick from. And Hooting Mandrills. So as far as creatures go, I like Mardu Hateblade and Hooting Mandrills. And Chief of the Scales. I think Suspension Field is also in the running, and then the Frontier Bivouac. So if you're going to go with the land, take the Frontier Bivouac. If you're going to go with a creature, I would take probably the Hooting Mandrills. Or, so this is neat. This pack gives you lots of options. You can choose right off the bat to go black-white and take the Chief of the Scales. You can choose to go 5 colors right off the bat and take the Bivouac. Or you can just take a monocolored card and stay open and take Hooting Mandrills. So there you have it, kind of different strategies that you can approach in this pack. So thanks so much for watching. You are awesome for doing so. I'm Sean Penrod, and we'll see you in the next pack.